Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to be showing you 3 high-end highlighter dupes that I found at the drugstore, and I actually really like all of these drugstore highlighters. I hadn't purchased a drugstore highlighter in a really long time, or maybe even ever, until about a few weeks ago, and then I picked up several and I think they're super amazing and definitely good dupes for some higher end ones. So I'm going to dupe the Laura Geller Gilded Honey, the Fenty Beauty, and an Hourglass highlighter as well. So if you want to see some great drugstore highlighters that are amazing dupes for some high-end highlighters, then please keep watching. Okay, the first one is the one that I'm actually wearing today, and I didn't put on too much, but this is the Wet n Wild Mega Glow highlighting powder in the shade Blossom Glow, and this is an amazing dupe for the Fenty Beauty Killawatt Freestyle highlighter duo in Lightning Dust and Fire Crystal. So if you take a look at this Fenty Beauty one, this is the one that comes with 2 different sides to it. Hopefully it's focusing there for you. And this one's a little bit more glittery, this one's a little bit more subtle, but I think a mix of these two is actually a exact match for this Wet n Wild one. And Wet n Wild products are only like, I think this one was about $4 or something like that. And as you can see side by side, they look pretty similar. They just have that pinky undertone, and they're very pinky undertoned highlighters. So I'm going to try to swatch these two for you side by side just so you can get an idea of how similar they are. So first up is this Wet n Wild one, which is right there on the top of my hand. I'll show you a little closer after I get them both on. And then I'm going to do a combination of both sides of the Fenty one because that's kind of how I use this product depending on the day. Now these aren't exact dupes. That is the Wet n Wild there on the left and the Fenty Beauty on the right. And the Wet n Wild is definitely a little bit more cool toned. Fenty Beauty is a little bit more warm undertoned, but they both give a pinky, sheeny effect on the skin when you wear them. They really give a similar effect. So although the swatches aren't exact dupes on the cheeks, I think they give a super similar effect. So definitely check out the Wet n Wild if you don't want to break the bank with Fenty. When I wear these, I'm going for a pinky highlighter look, and I really get the same effect even though the Wet n Wild one is a little bit more cool toned and Fenty Beauty is a little more warm toned. They still give that pinky, super shimmery effect. And for a pretty close dupe, I love this Wet n Wild one. This is actually my favorite drugstore highlighter at the moment. I absolutely love it. I love pinky toned highlight. It's my favorite kind of highlight. So I've really been loving this one, and I think it's a great option. Next up are the dupes for the ever popular Laura Geller Gilded Honey. This is a cult favorite on YouTube. This was super popular like a year and a half ago or so, maybe 2 years ago. This was what everyone was wearing. I think this is super beautiful, especially if you have like medium to tan skin tones, because it's like a very deep true gold color. But I'll do a swatch of this one now also so you can see it, and as you can tell, hopefully it will focus, it's a very true like gold highlighter shade. It's absolutely beautiful. And I actually have 2 dupes for this. The first one is the Maybelline Master Chrome, and this is in the shade 100 Molten Gold. And I think they were on purpose trying to copy Laura Geller just because, I mean, look, they kind of just have the same vibe, I would say. So I'll swatch this one right next to the Laura Geller. So there they are side by side. That is the Laura Geller on the left and then the Maybelline on the right. And they're both goldy colors. The Maybelline's just a little bit more of a coppery gold, whereas Laura Geller is a true gold. So that Maybelline highlighter is around $10, and if you want to go even cheaper than that, this Wet n Wild Boozy Brunch. What is this? The To Reflect Shimmer palette in Boozy Brunch. This is like huge, this product, and it looks kind of like it would be a bronzer, blush, highlighter all in one, but it's definitely just a true gold highlighter once you swatch it. So I just swirled my finger all around in that, and I'll put that right there as well. And as you can see, this one actually might even be a better match to the Laura Geller. And there's all 3 of them side by side. On the left is the Laura Geller, in the middle is the Maybelline, and on the right is the Wet n Wild. I think that Wet n Wild and Laura Geller are super duper similar. They both have kind of that true gold undertone, and they all give a super shimmery, beautiful effect to the cheeks. Last up is a dupe for some of the Hourglass highlighters, and I have the Ambient lighting powders in here in Dim Light and Iridescent Light, which are these two right here. And I think this dupe that I found is a exact match of like mixing these two together. But all of these kind of ambient lighting powders from Hourglass kind of give similar effects where they're very like lightly, a nice light shimmer, and they give like kind of just a candlelit glow to the skin. And the beautiful dupe that I found for this is the Essence Pure Nude highlighter, and the undertones of this are just very similar, and this highlighter and the Hourglass highlighters just aren't as shimmery as the ones I showed before. There they are side by side. And then I'm going to do a couple swatches for you. So first, swatching those two Hourglass powders together on my hand. Like, as you can see, they give like a very light sheen to the skin. This is not a glittery highlight at all. It's much more subtle. And then I'm going to take the Essence Pure Nude highlighter and swatch that right next to it. I'm trying to show you guys the swatches of these two highlighters, but they're just both so subtle that it's kind of hard to tell on the back of the hand. But towards the left there is the Hourglass highlighter, and then in the middle there is the Essence Pure Nude. And as you can tell, the back of my hand is just looking kind of naturally shiny. It's very hard to actually see these swatches, so sorry about that. Even though it's hard to see the swatches of these two, they definitely give a very similar effect, which is that light, natural looking highlight. This is a great like wedding day type of highlight, or if you want just something to look very subtle and candlelit, I definitely recommend this Essence one. This is only a few dollars, where the Hourglass ones I think are around 30, I want to say, so it's a great dupe to give you a really similar, really natural highlighted effect. And that's it for this high-end highlighter dupe video. All of these highlighters from the drugstore are amazing options. I don't think you have to splurge super crazy on highlighters, because I find that highlighter is always kind of the first thing to fade off my face. Highlight and blush just never seems to last very long, even the high-end ones. So it's worth it to just kind of skimp on the highlighters and buy some drugstore ones, and I would say splurge on something a little more worth your while, like a foundation. As always, all the products that I mentioned will be listed in the description box down below. Please subscribe if you haven't already so that you don't miss my next video, and thank you so much for watching.